Dear students, I am very happy to see you in all in this video lecture. Course code U18 PCIT 501 and the course name Data Mining. And myself, Dr. R. Yogesh Rajkumar, Assistant Professor in the Department of Information Technology, working in Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research. And I'm going to deliver you this lecture in the topic called data pre-processing, where you're going to see data cleaning and data integration in the data pre-processing topic here. So first, let us see what is a data pre-processing, why we are going for data pre-processing here. So when you see in the real world, the data which we have been getting is will be a dirty here. So in this case, what you're going to do here is what type of dirty things will be there in the data which we have been retrieving is incomplete data will be there, a noisy, inconsistent data. So these are the things which makes the data in the real world as a dirty one. So what we are going to do in the data pre-processing technique is we are going to clean the data. So that is what the cleaning, and once the data has been cleaned, it has been going to integrate it for data pre-processing. That is what the steps we are going to see here. So when we start with data in the real world is dirty. So in this case, the first thing is incomplete data. So what is incomplete data is nothing but lacking of attribute values, lacking certain attributes of interest, or containing only aggregate data. For example, you can see occupation, there is nothing is there. It is incomplete data. So that is what a incomplete data is. So nothing is there in an occupation. So when you're coming to noisy, it will be containing errors or outliers. For example, the salary has been given as minus 10. So it is a error there. So the salary should not be mentioned as minus 10. So that is what the errors here. That is what called as noisy data here. So when you're coming to inconsistent, which contains discrepancies in codes or names. For example, age is equal to 42 and the birthday will be is 3/7/1997. When you compare with the day when you derive the age from the given data, so the data will be vary. So it is inconsistent. The age and birthday date will be different here. So on the rating, you can see instead of giving us 1, 2, 3, the now rating has been as ABC. So the discrepancy between duplicate records, that is what the inconsistent data is. So you can see multi-dimensional measure of data quality. These are things should be there in a a quality of data. So you can see what are the things we need to expect in a multi-dimensional view. First one is accuracy. So the data should be very accurate. That is what accuracy stands here. So the completeness and the data we have seen here, we have inconsistent or something like that. So in that case, it should be a complete data and the consistency should be perfect. That is what the consistency stands here. So the timeliness, the time complexity should be reduced. So believability, when you're coming to believability, we should believe that this data will be very useful. So when you're coming to value added, it will be the data should be having some, it should have some additional features to a model. So that is what a value added here. When you're coming to interpretability, so interpretability is nothing but where the data should give us a clear explanation, that is like explainable. So accessibility is nothing but which is the data should be easy to access. That is what the dimensional view of a particular data. So the quality of the data should be these kind of things. So when you see coming to the major task in data pre-processing, data cleaning, data integration, data transformation, data reduction, and the fifth one is data discretization. So in this topic, we are going to see about data cleaning and data integration. So when you coming to data cleaning, what we are going to do is we are going to fill the missing values. These are the steps we are going to see in data cleaning. We're going to filling in missing values, smooth noisy data, identify or remove outliers, and resolve inconsistencies. This is what the steps we are going to see in data cleaning. When you are coming to the next one, data integration, we are going to integrate of multiple databases, data cubes or files here. The third one is data transformation, which is for normalization and aggregation. And the fourth one is data reduction. We are going to reduce the data which is obtained, reduced representation in volume, but produces the same or similar analytical results. So it will give the same result. Whenever the data has been reduced, the output will be same. So, and the last one is data discretization, part of data reduction, but with particular importance, especially for numerical data. So in this thing, we are going to see about the data cleaning and data integration. So when you see the forms of data pre-processing here, so the data cleaning, so you can see this is what the data will be. So like different data will be here. For example, you can take a water, it will be very dirty. So we will be cleaning the water. That is what the example given here. The data integration, you can see it will be in a different file formats in a database or a flat files, whatever it may be. So we are going to integrate that into a single component. That is what the data integration is. So when you see data transformation, you can see the invariant -232. So we are going to convert it into decimal value, which will have the characteristic of decimal things. So in this case, the final one is data reduction. When you see the difference here, T in the table, T1, T2, T3, T4, till T2000 has been given here. A1 in the row wise, you can see A1, A2, A3. In the column wise, you can see A1, A2, A3 till A125. So in this case, what we are going to do is we need the data. So we have been reducing the data. We have been reducing the table, but we'll get the exact output. This is what the forms of data pre-processing. So first we will step out into data cleaning here. So data cleaning, what is the data cleaning is? It's one of the three biggest problems in data warehousing. So according to Ralph Kimball, data cleaning is one of the three biggest problems in data warehousing. Data cleaning is the number of one problem in data warehousing. That is what a DCA survey is, data cleaning international survey is. So the data cleaning tasks, what that data cleaning task is nothing but we are going to fill the missing values. We are going to identify the outliers and smooth out the noisy data and correct inconsistent data, resolve redundancy caused by data integration. These are the tasks we're going to see in data cleaning process. So first we'll step on to missing data. So when you see data is not always available, so many tuples have no recorded value for several attributes such as customer income and sales of data. So when you see what is a tuple is nothing but an order of elements here. So that is what the tuples is. So in this case, you can see it have no recorded value for several attributes, which consists of such as customer income and sales data. So missing data may be due to equipment malfunction, inconsistent with other recorded data, and thus deleted. Data not entered due to misunderstanding. Certain data may not be considered important at the time of entry. Not register history or changes of the data. Missing data may need to be inferred. So this is what the missing data is. So how we are going to handle the missing data? We are going to ignore the tuple. How it has been done? Usually done when class label is missing. We are going to assume that task is in classification. It's not effective when the percentage of missing values per attribute varies considerably. So we are going to fill in the missing value manually. That is tedious plus infeasible. So fill in it automatically with, so first one we are going to fill the missing value manually, and the second step we are going to fill it with automatically. So a global constant, example unknown or new class has been added there. So the attribute mean is going to find the attribute mean, and the attribute mean for all samples belonging to the same class. That is a smarter thing. The most probable value, that is nothing but inference based, such as Bayesian formula or decision tree. So you can see an example here. These are the missing data. So you can see in the first table, age has been mentioned here. So all the data will be there in the age. When you see in the income, two things has been missing here. Two has been mentioned as I, and nothing other than that, there is no data has been mentioned here. So as well as in the student column, you can see yes, no has been mentioned here. Other than that, two columns has been made as empty. So when you coming to the last one, last column, buys computer, we have been given two categories, yes, and another category is no. So you can see a missing values here. So you can see all the missing values in the table. So what we can do is, this is for the inconsistent date. In this case, in the second table, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The ID has been given here in a column. So the name has been given in another column, the state and degree in other columns. So you can see the third one is in the state, there is a missing value, as well as then the fourth column, you can see the degree in the fourth row, the degree has been missing here in that particular column. So what we can do is we can fill it manually. So how we are going to fill it manually is by getting a mean of that particular thing. So you can see in the next step, next tabulation, next example, you can see in A column, 2 values has been missing, as well as the B column, 2 values has been missing, as well as the C column, 2 values has been missing here. So what we are going to do is we are going to find the average of that particular column. So you can see we are going to add this particular thing, 6 plus 4 and 6 plus 2, total it will be 18. 18 divided by 6, you will be getting average of 3. So we are going to fill it by manually. So you can see the next tabulation by mean. So the two things, 3 and 3 has been marked in the A column. So this is what filling the value by mean. So in the previous table, you can see we are going to fill it automatically. So in the previous case, you can see in the previous table, the state column, you can see the difference here. So the major thing has been Tamil Nadu here. So we'll be fill the column by Tamil Nadu here. So as well as in the degree column, you can see above this empty column, one is UG and the other one is below that empty column, there is a PG here. So you may fill as UG or as well as PG. So it is an automatic filling here. So this is how we'll be filling the missing values here. So when you're coming to the noisy data, noise, you get a random error or variance in a measured variable. Incorrect attributes values may due to faulty data collection instruments, data entry problems, data transmission problems, technology limitation, inconsistency in naming conventions. So other data problems which requires data cleaning is duplicate records, incomplete data, inconsistent data. So how we are going to handle the noisy data? So you can see the steps which has been involved to remove the noisy data. First technique is binning one. The second is regression. Third is clustering. And the fourth one is combined computer and human inspection. So when you see what the steps in binning is, first we are going to sort the data and partition into equal frequency bins. The second one, then one we can smooth by bin means, by median and by bin boundaries. This is what the things we are going to do in binning technique. So the regression is nothing but we are going to fit the data into a regression functions. That is what the regression means. We are going to fit the data in a particular value. So that is what regression functions. Clustering is nothing but we are going to group data and we are going to remove the outliers. That is what detect and remove outliers. And the final one is combined computer and human inspection. Detect suspicious values and check by human. Example deals with possible outliers. So as it's a interaction between the computer and a human. So human is going to check and act as an inspector. So you'll be inspecting what are the errors occurred in by data pre-processing. So first we will step on to simple discretization methods, which is called as a binning. So in this thing, the first step what we are going to do is equal width, distance, partitioning. Divides the range into n intervals of equal size, which is a uniform grid. If A and B are the lowest and highest values of the attribute, the width of the intervals will be W is equal to B minus A divided by N. So the most straightforward but outliers may dominate presentation. Skewed data is not handled well. So first one is equal width and the second one is equal depth. So in the equal width, we will be finding the distance of the partitioning. In this, we will going to find in depth, we will be going to find the frequency of the partition. So divides the range into n intervals, each containing approximately same number of samples. Good data scaling, managing categorical attributes can be tricky here. So binning methods for data smoothing. So you can see an example given here, sorted data for price in dollars. So it has been given in a sequential order. So you can see there, it has been already given in ascending order, 4, 8, 9, 15, 21, 21, 24, 25, 26, 28, 29, 34. So first we are going to check how many data are there. So according to that, we are going to partition into equal frequency and equal depth bins. So first you can see equal frequency. So the equal frequency has been given as 3 bins. So you can see 3 bins has been taken according to the particular thing. So how we have split the data into 12 by 4. So 3 bins has been taken. So 12 by 4. So 4 data will be filled in a bin here. So in this case, you can see the first 4 data 4, 8, 9, 15 has been filled in the bin 1. 21, 21, 24, 25 has been filled in bin 2. And third one is bin 3, which has been filled with 26, 28, 29, 34. So that is what equi-depth bins. So we are going to smoothing by bin means. So we are going to find the mean value. So we are going to add the 4 plus 8 plus 9 plus 15. You'll be getting a value. So in that case, you'll be finding the mean value. In this mean value is 9. So we will be filling all the values as the mean value. So in the bin 1, everything has been filled by the mean value, as well as the bin 2. So you'll be adding 21, 21, 24, 25, and you'll be dividing by getting the mean value for that. The mean value for the bin 2 is 23. So we'll be filling that values as 23 here. So as well as the bin 3, 26, 28, 29, 34, you'll be getting a mean value of 29. So we'll be filling that particular third bin with the mean value. This is what smoothing by bin means. Now coming to smoothing by bin boundaries, that is nothing but which we are going to search for the boundary value. So the first thing is 4 and the last data is 15. So we are going to check the boundaries of, we have found the boundaries here. We are going to check the data which is nearest to the boundary. So when you compare this 4 and 8, you can see the distance between 4 and 8 is 4, but 8 and 15 it is more or less around 7. So the nearest value is 4. So we have been replacing that with 4. So when the second one, you can see the third one, 9. So the distance between 9 and 15 is around 6. But when you see the distance between 4 and 9, the boundary which is nearest to that one is 4. So we have been filling that with the same value as 4 here. So as well as when you're coming to the bin 2, the starting value is 21 and the boundary which has been ending is 25. The remaining two data, 21, 24. So you can see which is the nearest value. The 21 is nearest to the 21 boundary. So we will be filling that with 21. So when you compare to the 24 and 25, there is a distance between 21 and 24 is 3. When you compare the distance between 24 and 25 is just 1. So we'll be fitting it with the particular boundary. So 21, 25, 20. So as well as the same bin 3. This is what binning methods for data smoothing. So the sorted values, you can see the sorted values, and we have found the bin size is 3. So it has been divided into partition into frequency, and it has been smoothed by bin means, which I have been seeing. So the bin boundaries is nothing but the minimum value and the maximum value, that is the boundary value. So we have been assigning that. So you can see this is what we have seen in the previous cases, smoothing by bin boundaries. So another example has been given here, where in the previous case, the data has been sorted in ascending order. You can see 4, 8, 9, 15, it has been in a clear ascending order. So in this case, this is how the data will be. Like you can see the 4 columns has been given. One is ID, another one is name, and third one is salary, and fourth one is location. So you can see the ID is been arranged here, but you can see the salary here, 40, 32, 50, 25, 15. So it is not arranged in a sequential order. So we are going to sort it out in a ascending order here. That is what the first step is. So you can see the first table which is on the left hand side, and which the second table which is on the right hand side. That is what the sorted table. So you can see the IDs has been changed here, 5, 6, 4, 9, 2, 1, 7, 3, 8. This is how the salary has been arranged in a sorted in a ascending order. So this is what the first step is. We are going to sort the data here. So once the sorting has been done, what we are going to do is we are going to separate the bin size here. So as well as you can see, 9 data are there. So according to that, we are going to split the data into 3 bins. So we are going to find 3 bins here. We are going to put 3 data in a particular bin. So you can see the bin size is 3. So the first 3 has been put into bin 1, and the next 3 has been put into bin 2, and the third 3 values has been put into bin 3. So this is how we have been transferring the data into the bins here. So once it has been transferred, we will be finding the mean value. So you can see the mean value of 15. We're going to add 15,000, 20,000, and 25,000 in the first bin. So we will be finding the mean of that particular thing. So you can see the mean of the particular bin 1 is 20,000. So it has been filled with a mean value. The first bin has been filled with the mean value, as well as the second. 30,000, 32,000, and 40,000. So by adding by adding three of these numbers, we'll be finding the mean value that has been inserted in bin 2 as well as in the bin 3. So at last, what we'll be doing is, for example, you can see here 60,000 divided by 3, we'll be getting 20,000. As the same thing has been followed in the bin 3. So, and finally, what we are going to do is we are going to fit the boundaries here. We are going to set the boundaries. So you can see the distance between 15,000. The first boundary is 15,000. Last second one is 25,000. So sorry, third one is 25,000. That has been filled here. So the mediator sixth is 6, which is the data is nearest to 15,000 as well as the 25,000. The distance between the thing is 15,000 is the nearest one. So the 20,000 value is, you can see the 20,000 is difference between these two things is 5,000. So it may be marked as 15,000 or else it may be marked as 25,000. So we have been marking as a minimum value. That is what sorted in the bin 1 as well as in the bin 2. You can see the starting value is 30,000. The ending value is 40,000. The middle value is 32,000. So when you see which is nearest value is, the boundary is 30,000 is the nearest value. So we have been filling that with 30,000 here. That is what the bin 2 is as well as the bin 3. This is what the boundaries which has been seen here. So the next technique is regression. So in this regression technique, what we are going to see is the data are going to smooth by fitting the data to a function. So the data can be smoothed by fitting the data into a function, such as with regression. So this is what the technique regression is. Linear regression involves finding the best line to fit two attributes. So we are going to fit two attributes or variables so that one attribute can be used to predict the other. So it is a slope formula. You can see y equal to mx plus c. That is what the formula which has been given here. Y equal to b plus mx. So the slope is nothing but m and the intercept is b. Mean is x and y. So you can see the regression here. A graph has been plotted here. So you can see the attribute values. So you can see the dotted attribute values, which has been fit into two lines, fit into two between lines. So the nearest value will be calculated according to the slope formula. This is what the regression technique is. Now when you move on to the clustering, you can see the different colors here, the green, red, light blue, all these are the things which we are going to group here. This is the approach, groups say the similar data into a cluster. So we are going to group one thing according to this thing. So you can see the diamond has been marked, the light blue has been marked into one cluster, has been grouped into one cluster. The red color circle has been grouped into another cluster. The triangle green color has been grouped into another cluster. So you can see a remaining one, which is an arrow mark here. So that is called outliers, which is not even belongs to these three groups. That is detected by clustering. So where similar values are organized into groups or clusters. So this is how we have been setting out for a clusters. So the data cleaning as a process, data discrepancy detection. Going to use metadata, example domain range, dependency distribution, and check field overloading. So check uniqueness rule, consecutive rule, and null rule. Use commercial tools. So data scrubbing, use simple domain knowledge, example postal code, spell check to detect errors and make corrections. The data auditing by analyzing data to discover rules and relationship to detect violators. Example correlation and clustering to find outliers. The data migration and integration. Data migration tools allows transformations to be specified. So the same ETL process has been used. Extraction, transformation, loading tools allows user to specify transformations through a graphical user interface. Integration of the two processes, iterative and interactive. Example, Potter's wheels. So the data coming to the next one is data integration. So in this case, what you are going to do is data integration. We are going to combine data from multiple sources into a coherent store. So the schema integration, example, a customer ID, A is a customer ID, B is a customer number. We are going to integrate these two things. We are going to integrate metadata from different sources. Entity identification problem. Identify a real world entities from multiple data sources. Example, Bill Clinton as well as William Clinton. So this is what the identification problem is. Detecting and resolving data value conflicts for the same real world entity. Attribute values from different sources are different. Possible reasons, different representation, different scales. Example, metrics as British units. So you can see the examples here. Employee ID, instead of the database 1 and the database 2 here, In the first table, you can see employee ID has been mentioned as EID. The second one, in the second table, you can see it has been mentioned emp.id. So the date thing has been same. So as well as the same, in the second column, you can see in the first table, second column, e name. In the database second table, second column, it has been mentioned as emp.name. So the things has been same. The things which has been mentioned is the same, but the names has been different. That is what the things we are going to see here. So in this case, how we are going to handling the redundancy in data integration. The redundant data occur often when integration of multiple databases. The first one is object identification. The same attributes or object may have different names. So that is what you can see here, may have different names in different databases. The derivable data. One attribute may be a derived attribute in another table. Example, annual revenue. Redundant attributes may be able to detected by correlation analysis. Careful integration of the data from multiple sources may help reduce, avoid redundancies and inconsistencies, and improve mining speed and quality. So example has been given for object identification. You can see the register number. The left hand side table, the two tables are there. The object identification, you can see register number, yes name and course. Name in object identification is, you can see the course and department is same, which gives the same data, but the name has been different. That is for the object identification. The object is same, but it has been identified here, which is mentioned as a name called course. Another in the second table, you can see as department, the content which inside that particular thing is same. So this is what the object identification is. So when you're coming to the derivable data, you can see register number, subject name or student name, student name, department, age, and date of birth. So in this case, what is a derivable data is the date of birth has been given as 2/1/2001. So we are going to retrieve the we are going to derive the age from that particular date of birth. That is what the derivable data is. So the date of birth has been given here. So we are going to derive the age from that particular date of birth. That is what derivable data. Now coming to correlation analysis, that is nothing but a numerical data. So correlation coefficient, also called Pearson product moment coefficient, where the formula has been given as R of A comma B is equal to the summation of I is equal to 1 to N, the bracket of AI minus A bar into BI minus B bar divided by N variance of A and variance of B is equal to the summation of I is equal to 1 to N AI into BI minus N into A bar into B bar divided by N variance of A and variance of B, where N is the number of tuples, A and B bar are the respective means A and B of A and B. The variance of A and variance of B are the respective standard deviations of A and B, and summation of A to B is the sum of the AB cross product. So we are going to find two things here. One is if R of A comma B is greater than 0, that is the things or the data retrieved is positively correlated. So when you see A and values increases as B, the higher is the stronger correlation. If R equal of A comma B is equal to 0, it is independent. For F comma B, where 0 is greater than R of A comma B, then the data is negatively correlated. This is what the correlation analysis. So in the correlation analysis of categorical data, we are going to use a chi-square test. The formula for chi-square is equal to summation of observed minus expected whole square divided by expected. Sorry. The larger the x-square value, the more likely the variables are related. The cells that contribute the most to the chi-square value are those whose actual count is very different from the expected count. Correlation does not imply causality of hospitals. Number of hospitals as a number of cars theft in a city are correlated. Both are causally linked to the third variable population. So a problem has been given here, which is an example of correlation chi-square test, which is a male female in the column wise. You can see a male female and total. The fiction of news reading fiction of one is fiction and another one is non-fiction, and you can see the total here. So A is a male, A is the gender, and B preferred reading. This is how the subject is. So you can see the formula for chi-square is chi-square is equal to summation of I is equal to 1 to C, where J is equal to 1 to R, O of ij minus E of ij, the whole square by E of ij, where E of ij is equal to the count of A is equal to A into count of B is equal to Bj divided by N. So you can see the example here. So you can find the male value which is given by this particular formula Yj minus Eij whole square by Eij. That is what they will be getting a value of 90 for male, and for female will be getting a value of 360, and the non-fiction will be getting a value of 210, and the fee for male, and for female will be getting a value of 840. So the value has been marked here. So when you see the second thing, we will be substituting the chi-square formula where x square is equal to the given data, where we have found the data of 250 minus 90 for the male divided by 90, as well as the data which you have been got from the previous cases. So in this case, you are getting the value of 507.93. So the degree of freedom, which is nothing but the row is 1 and the column is 1. So the two rows are there and two columns are there. 2 minus 1. 2 rows, 2 minus 1, and 2 column is 2 minus 1. The value is 1. So the chi-square value needed to reject the hypothesis at the 0.001 significance level is 10.828, where you will be finding this value in a chi-square table here. Like a log table, you'll be having a chi-square table. In this, you will be finding that particular significance value for the given thing. So this is what the chi-square calculation example for the fiction, which you have been seeing in the last case. What we are going got the value of 507.93. It shows that like science fiction and play chess are correlated. So science fiction and play chess are correlated in this particular group. This is what the answer is. Thus, the chi-square calculation numbers in parentheses are expected counts calculated based on the data distribution in the two categories. So this is what the things. Thank you, students. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. Thank you.